Look, he's got a law degree, he's got a master's degree, so he's a smart guy. He's just I guess my dad would call him a gentleman. He's always been that way since the day I met him when he walked in at Lehigh as a freshman.
And on your screen is Darryl Burley, the NCAA champion for Lehigh University, sophomore from Pemberton, New Jersey. First both in the Nationals and the Easterns.
I am more. My village had made me more. My mother and father had made me more than Darryl Burley, the Lehigh wrestler. I was involved in classical piano before wrestling for years. My mother pushed me in there. And I had considerable talent. I was playing Bach, Beethoven, Rachmaninoff, Chopin. And then wrestling came along. And my mother's like, I put too much time on it. Ever got a piano sitting over there? No. But the most important thing, it taught me timing. Timing. You got to put all these varied notes together, saying, wrestling, footwork. I always had timing, good timing.
I know he loved sports, but that really caught me off guard when his mom said, he's on the wrestling team.
I got into wrestling in 8th grade in Pemberton, New Jersey. I was in middle school. My maternal grandmother, my extremely formative years, from 2, 3, 4, I spent with her, a lot of time with her. Her name was Mary Mullins. And as a family, we call her May.
She told him that, I see some greatness in you.
You're special, you're gonna be special. So one day, I look at her and says, May, why am I special? She says to me, and I'll never forget this, because I love you. I'm like, because she was my universe. I said, my universe loves me? I must be special.
She left it at that. She did not know what it was, but she saw that in him.
And I was just like a fish in water. It's just, my body just told me what to do. And the rest is history. My high school wrestling career, number one, and throughout my whole wrestling tenure, is I never cut weight. That's probably why I was able to stay with the sport as long as I did. I never cut weight. When I came in as a freshman, I wrestled 115. As a sophomore, I wrestled 122. And I believe my sophomore year, I weighed like 120. So my junior year, I was able to stay at 122 because I weighed 124, maybe 125. My senior year, I went up to 129. Freshman in college, from 129 to 134. So I just never cut weight. And I could concentrate on enjoying the sport and learning technique and conditioning.
He was defensive and he was all business. He was into it. He was into the match.
Personally, the culture back then was mano a mano. Okay? It's either you or me. And ain't much more need to be said than that. It was just my love and fascination of the sport. I mean, there's just so many moving parts that you've got to coordinate together. When I think in my mind, I says, this has got to be one of the toughest sports to learn. I mean, there's just so many aspects, physics, math, leverage, momentum, weight, speed. I mean, there's a lot of things to put together. Coach Turner and I had this routine that he would run with me twice a day. In the morning and after lunch. So we had just finished the regular season and going into the qualifiers. So qualifiers are over and we're getting ready to go to nationals. So we're training for nationals. So I go in the office like any other day. I said, well, Coach, ready for our midday run? Never forget this, as long as I live. Dad Turner looks me straight in the eye and says, Daryl, the hay is in the barn. And that was one of the biggest compliments I could have ever received. My coach says, you know what, man? You've done enough. You can't do any more.
And it was in the barn also.
That's Thad Turner, who's the head wrestling coach at Lehigh University.
A two-time national champion, I believe, and he was a four-time finalist. And his record, if I remember correctly, was 94, 5-1.
And at that time, we wrestled a lot of good schools. We wrestled both the Iowas and, schools like that. So it wasn't, he didn't accomplish that against so-so opposition either.
I think one of the better decisions Coach Turner and I made together was that final year he says, Daryl, go up to 142. Could have made 34, no problem, but never cut weight. So go up to 42. And the last 2 years at Lehigh, I had already wrestled 42. But for me, it was just like my freshman year because I left high school, came to college, and all new faces. They had never seen me, I had never seen them. And when I went up to 42, all new faces. So it was just so many similarities between the first year and the last year.
He always liked to not take all the credit. He always, and he could have a lot more than he did, but he always included us, the family members, to share, his success.
Hopefully things have come full circle.
I think his first two dual meets, he wrapped up 50 points on the board.
One of the questions, they say, well, what does this induction mean to you? It means that all the people in my village, all the things they did, all the things they said, are validated. It wasn't for nothing.
The guy was a four-time finalist. And how many guys do you have that are four-time finalists and win it twice?
I'm wrestling with it, and finally I came to the realization, you know what, dude? You're in a place, an institution, that the best of the best. And there are people in there that are 10 times better than me. And I'm chosen to be in that company, and I'm profoundly humbled and grateful.
And the rest is history.